Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here to break down the college basketball slate on Draftkings. This is a big Tuesday slate. We got 8 games. It's 9 games on Draftkings right now, but the Kentucky-Missouri game has been postponed, so make sure not to play any players from that game. I wasn't able to get out a video yesterday, so my apologies for that, but I was actually getting ready to record it, and I walked outside to grab my HDMI cord, and I found my apartment flooded. So that was a fun moment, and I had to deal with that for the rest of the day. And by the time I was done taking care of that, I had to do some schoolwork that was due yesterday, and I just wasn't able to get a video out. So my apologies for that, but we're back today. If you're new here, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel, as I'm bringing college basketball videos pretty much 4 to 5 days a week, and I'm trying to do Saturday live streams. I'll be back with that this Saturday. If you want to get more of my content, you can always subscribe to my Patreon. It's $5 a month, and you're going to get this spreadsheet with all the stats you need to know, along with projections for every single slate, every single day. So even if I don't get out a video, there's still going to be projections up on the Patreon. So be sure to go check that out below. I'll put the link down below for that. But that's really all I got to say on that. Let's get into the players, because I know it's what you guys want to talk about. The first game we are going to talk about is this Clemson versus North Carolina game. This game has a total of 135. It's really not one of the games that I'm really that excited to get to, but there are some value on the Clemson side. Carolina is definitely going to be a team I'm definitely not that excited about. This game has a pace of only 71.052, which is not a great pace game, and Carolina's in a major pace down spot. The one guy I would be interested in on Carolina is going to be Leaky Black, just because he's $5,600 and he's going to play like 31 minutes, so he's going to be out there on the floor for a good amount of time. He has a usage rate of 14.2 and an assist rate of 14.4 when he's on the floor, so that's going to look pretty good for him. Then on the Clemson side, I'm going to be interested in Clyde Trapp. He's $5,100. I gave him 36 minutes. He only has a point per minute of 0.69, but he has a usage rate of 18.3 and an assist rate of 14. Just looks pretty good in a pace-up spot for that price. Same with Alamir Dawes. He's $4,400. I gave him 30 minutes today, also a 0.6 guy. A little bit higher usage rate of 20.2. And an assist rate is 16.5, but those minutes for that price is going to look really good. And then Amir Sims at 7,000 looks like a solid play today. I gave him 34 minutes. He's a 0.97 point per minute guy. He has a usage rate 24.7 and an assist rate 21. Clemson's just in a pace-up spot, so that is going to look good for these players who could be a little bit underpriced for the pace of game. The next game we're going to talk about is Ole Miss and Tennessee, and I hate this game. The only guy I'm interested in is KJ Buffin. This game has an implied total of 124, which is just far and away the lowest total game on the slate. I don't want to attack this game at all. But KJ Buffin is going to be a little too cheap here. At $4,500, I don't understand that price tag. I gave him 32 minutes. He has a 0.91 point per minute, usage rate of 20.4, and an assist rate of 11.7. So that's going to be very valuable here. I think that his price tag is just way too cheap for the role he has on his team. I don't really understand that. So that is definitely going to be something that I'm interested in today. The next game we're going to talk about is Stanford and USC. This is a game I do like a little bit. It has a total of 139, which is going to be very good here. One of the higher total games on the slate. It has a pace of 73.6, which is going to be well above average for today. And both teams just look pretty good. Now, from the Stanford side, we do have some injuries we got to talk about. Okay, I guess we'll talk about Stanford first. So Zaire Williams is questionable. There's like Dejon Davis is questionable, and Trey Galloway, I believe, was already ruled out. So those 3 players, if they're all going to miss, then it just opens up a ton of value on USC, in my opinion. If they're in, then none of these guys, like Michael O'Connell, Jaden Delaire, and Spencer Jones, won't be interested for me. Oscar Da Silva, no matter what is. I gave him 36 minutes, $8,200, 1.07 point per minute guy. Usage rate 26.4, assist rate 17.8, rebound rate 12.8. No matter what, Oscar Da Silva is great for Stanford today. Love him as a play. But if Zaire Williams and Dejon Davis are playing today, then Michael O'Connell, Jaden Delaire, and Spencer Jones are not going to be as interested to me. Michael O'Connell, though, right as of now, assuming those guys are out, he's $6,000, gave him 36 minutes. It's going to be way too cheap in this fast-paced, high-total game. Usage rate 12.8 isn't great. Assist rate 19.1 is, though. Jaden Delaire, I like more. He's 34 minutes. I gave him 34 minutes. He is $6,900, though, a little bit more expensive. 0.8 point per minute play for usage rate of 24.4 and a rebound rate 12.7. Then Spencer Jones is $5,800. I gave him 33 minutes. 0.6 guy isn't the best in the world, but a usage rate of 13.2 isn't the best, but he's going to be out there in a high-scoring game that's going to look good. Then on the USC side, Taj Edey and Isaiah Mobley are going to be the 2 guys I'm interested over there. Taj Edey's $5,900. I gave him 33 minutes today. He's a 0.7 point per minute guy, usage rate 20.6, and an assist rate 17.3. Then Isaiah Mobley is $6,000. Gave him 32 minutes, a 0.89 point per minute guy, usage rate 20.9, assist rate 13.4, and a rebound rate of 14.4. Those are all going to look pretty solid. Next game we're going to talk about is Maryland versus Purdue. This game has an implied total of 134.5. Isn't going to be the best, but the Maryland side of this game is going to look very, very good. They're going to be in a little bit of a pace-up spot, and they're all just too cheap, honestly. They're playing a lot of minutes, and Aaron Wiggins is $6,100. Like, why? I gave him 38 minutes today. He's got a .84 point per minute, usage rate 24.2, assist rate 20. Doesn't make any sense. Same thing with Daryl Morcell. He's 5,300. I gave him 36 minutes. Hakeem Hart, same thing, 5,000 and 29 minutes. I just don't understand the price tags on these guys with high usage rates, high minutes, and pretty solid fantasy producers. It makes no sense. Isn't the best game in the world, but they're just way too cheap on the slate, and they all just look projectiles, really good values for me. I just don't understand the price tag at all. Next up, we got Michigan State. They're playing Iowa. This is going to be probably the best game to target on the day. It has the highest implied total at 155. Michigan State is 10-point dogs, so that's not great. But this is going to be the fastest paced game on the day as well. And a pace-up spot for Michigan State, and Iowa defensively isn't good, so that's why the total's so high. So all three of these guys, Aaron Henry, Rocket Watson, Joey Hauser, look good to me. Rocket Watson is going to be a tournament-only play. If he's hitting his shots and playing well, he is going to get about 20 minutes. But there are games where we see Rocket Watson get like 10. So he's definitely going to be a tournament-only play for me. The upside is there for him if he's just pretty much playing well. I mean, we've seen Rocket Watson inconsistencies all year for 2 years now. When he's playing good, he looks like one of the best players on the floor. When he's bad, he looks really bad, and that's why he doesn't get the playing time. So $4,100 is going to be a tournament play only for me. When he's out there, he does have a usage rate 26.5 and assist rate 30.1. It just doesn't get the playing time. Aaron Henry looks great to me today. He's $7,200. I gave him 34 minutes. He has a 1.02 point per minute guy, usage rate 26.7 and assist rate 24.6. To be honest, he's pretty much the only thing that's been good about this Michigan State team this year. He's looked really good. Everything else has kind of been a disaster. Joey Hauser is a good three-point shooter. That's all he's going to do at $5,600. 1.05 point per minute, usage rate 23.9, assist rate of 15.8. Tournament play only for me, but if he hits that upside, it's going to look really good. Now we're going to go talk about Illinois. They play Indiana. This game has an implied total of 142.5, so a pretty solid total game here. When we go look at the pace, it's going to have a pace of 72.8. That's going to be above average pace game today. When you go look at the two players I'm going to be interested in, I'm always going to be interested in Ayo DeSumo, one of the best players in the country. He's $8,100. I gave him 35 minutes. He's a 1.09 point per minute guy, usage rate of 31.1 and assist rate 26.7. That's just way too cheap for $8,100 in my opinion. I'll take those rates and that point per minute and those minutes all day. And we've seen him get to 40 minutes before. Like if this game's a really tough grind out game, then yeah, Iowa's going to probably get to 40 minutes. So that's going to be something to pay attention to. And then Adam Miller's $4,300. That's just too cheap. I gave him 32 minutes today. He's a 0.55 point per minute guy. He's a great point per minute guy. Usage rate of 18.3 isn't fantastic. He is a three-point shooter. If he is knocking down his threes, he is an absolute steal here at 4,300 today. Going to also be a tournament only play for me, although I think you can go to him in cash. But I definitely like him a little bit more in tournaments. Then we got Armand Franklin and Race Thompson for Indiana. Armand Franklin is questionable today, so if he doesn't play, don't play him. Pay attention to that. He's $6,700. Give him 34 minutes, 0.79 point per minute, usage rate 23.4, and assist rate 13.6. And Race Thompson, $6,400. I gave him 31 minutes. He's a 0.8 point per minute guy, usage rate of 16.9, and a rebound rate of 14.1. Now we're going to talk on the other side of that Iowa-Michigan State game where we already talked about how much we like the Michigan State players. But on the Iowa side, I love this team today. So first off, we got to talk about C.J. Frederick. He's questionable today. If C.J. Frederick plays, he's way too cheap. 4,000 is ridiculous for him. 25 minutes, 0.63 point per minute, usage rate of 13.9, assist rate of 14, and he can get up in the 30s. If C.J. Frederick misses, then Connor McCaffrey is the play. He'll see extended minutes without Frederick on the floor. And at $4,900, it's going to look really good. So only one of these two. If Frederick's in, it's Frederick. If Frederick's out, it's McCaffrey. And then Jordan Bohannon and Luka Garza look good. Bohannon, $6,100. Gave him 33 minutes. He's a 0.84 point per minute guy. If usage rate is 16.5 and assist rate 25.5, that's going to look really good for $6,100 in a high-scoring game. And then Luka Garza is Luka Garza. I love playing Luka Garza, and I'm not going to stop doing it. Just pay up for him. The guy produces ridiculous amounts of fantasy points, so he looks really good. Now we're going to talk about Wisconsin and Penn State. This game has a total of 138.5. We're going to have the pace at 71.3. It's going to be slightly below average, but Wisconsin is in a massive pace-up spot against Penn State. As you can see, I have no Penn State players on this team. I'm not going to play anybody from Penn State today. None of them look good. Ever since their injuries are back, their minutes been spread back out. It's a pace-down spot, low total game, low pace game, so I don't love it. But for Wisconsin, I'm fine with it. $6,700, Demetric Trice stands out to me. I gave him 32 minutes. He's a 0.84 point per minute guy. Usage rate 24.2 and assist rate 25.2. $6,700 just feels a little bit too cheap for him. Then Aleem Ford is $5,400, gave him 34 minutes, 0.77 point per minute guy, usage rate 20.1. And then Brad Davidson's way too cheap at $4,800, 36 minutes, 0.68 guy, usage rate 18.5, assist rate 15.3. Isn't going to, go off, but at $4,800, that's just way too cheap. Now on the Purdue side, Aaron Wheeler is going to look pretty good for me. Sasha Stefanovic is going to still be out today, and that's going to give him some more minutes. Now, I can't promise these are going to be productive minutes, but at 28 minutes for $3,400, a 0.7 guy, usage rate of 13.8, assist rate 12.4, and a rebound rate of 14.3, this is probably the cheap play I would go to. And then the last game of the day that we're going to talk about, the game of the day, probably one of the best games of the year so far we've seen, is going to be Baylor and Texas. Number 2 and number 6 team in the country. I don't care how good, if Texas is at home. Baylor is the best team in the country. They're going to win the championship this year, and I'm going to still take them to win this game. I'm just never going to take Baylor to lose at this point. I'm sure they will get a loss before the season's over because it's the Big 12. It's a really good conference, but man, this team's really good. This game has a total of 144.5. We go look at the pace. It's going to be pretty much an average pace game, slightly above average pace for today, but basically an average pace game. The two guys I'm going to be interested on Texas are going to be Matt Coleman and Jericho Sims. Coleman's $6,200, gave him 37 minutes, a 0.8 point per minute guy, usage rate of 18.7, and an assist rate of 21.8. And then Jericho Sims is $5,100. I gave him 33 minutes. He's a 0.8 guy, usage rate of 17.3, and his rebound rate of 15.2. Both those guys look really good for their prices. And then on the Baylor side, I'm going to love Mark Vital, $5,200. I continue to like to play Mark Vital. 29 minutes, 0.8 guy, usage rate of 14.9, rebound rate of 15.1. Doesn't ever seem to have the massive ceiling games, but he's fine for cash, especially at $5,200. I always like to play him in cash games and in tournaments. The ceiling is still there for him. We saw him hit a lot more last year than we have this year, but he is still fine. And Jared Butler's a star this year in college basketball, one of the best players in college basketball. $9,000. I'm okay playing him in big games no matter what. 1.2 point per minute guy, usage rate 27.3, and assist rate 32.7. He is expensive. I will say that he doesn't project out as like a massive value today, but at $9,000, I don't mind paying for him, especially in a big game. And then Maceo Teague's $5,900. He looks pretty good to me as well. Gave him 32 minutes, 0.84 guy, usage rate 21.5. That's going to look pretty good at $5,900. I think that's really all I got to say on this, though. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. Be sure to hit that like and that subscribe. If you want to go check out my NBA video, that should be already out. You should go do that as well. Have a great rest of your day. Let's make some money.